It's the maiden edition of Bloggers Forum, where we have a mix of tourism, arts, and entertainment writers over to discuss issues relating to the industry. My name is Benefo Boabin Abrantipa. It's great to have you on board. Thanks for joining us on Ghana Web TV. During the 2019 Vodafone Ghana Music Awards, a scuffle ensued between two dancehall artists, StoneBoy and ShattaBwoy. This disrupted the program for close to 30 minutes as it was halted while the security maintained sanity. Now, the organizers of the event, Charterhouse, have called for entries for this year's edition of the event, and there are conversations as to whether or not the newly constituted board should overturn the decision of the previous one. Here is Theresa Ayowade, CEO of Charterhouse, addressing the media in Accra.
As to when they are going to be called back is what we have not decided. And that has gone out of the jurisdiction of the old board because it's been dissolved and a new one has been reconstituted. So it is the duty of the new board, based on the facts and everything that has been presented, which they are all aware of, to now say, should we readmit them this year or not?
For those who missed the media engagement, it was a heated argument when the floor was opened for journalists to share their views on the issue.
By any stretch of imagination, what our two artists did was more than public disrepute. It was more of a diplomatic shame, where diplomats from other countries who've come here had to be rescued and pushed out. That shame goes beyond Charterhouse. That shame goes beyond the sponsors Vodafone. That shame is on us all as an entertainment or showbiz fraternity, and even the country for that matter. So, if your former board lacks the balls to come out and state clearly that the brand has been brought into public disrepute, and on that score, you are sticking to the rules of the game, that is their cup of tea.
This is not more like an attack, because like I said, listen, these are the thoughts. And that's not right now. You change the narrative. You change the narrative.
To revoke or not to revoke the ban, that is the question. Joining me for this discussion is Kelly Latte Mensah. He is with EIB, digital social media specialist, and he also writes for showbizpundits.com. Kelly, welcome.
Charlie, thank you, bro.
I say the one you scan to our dog, give me.
Oh, wouldn't say, do I have to speak Chi? Because Chi the one Chi Santifono, you should have Santifono, Charlie. It's me.
You are a guy, my friend.
Charlie.
Right. Jibril writes for ghkasa.com. Jibril, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, welcome.
How have you been?
Well, just as Kelly's complaining or making statements.
Oh, but you are the king of Soli, so I wonder why you are complaining. Oh, yeah, so just Soli more.
These days they don't give the envelopes. Some you move money. That's another discussion for another day, bro.
I see. Nice. Let's delve into the discussion, but first of all, let's look at the performance of these two artists the year under review. The songs that they recorded, the shows that they played. Let's throw more light on it. Kelly, let me begin.
Charlie, I think the fallout from that rift between ShattaBwoy and StoneBoy came out with some positivity, if you ask me, because they started working immediately after their peace accord that was heralded by my boss, Nanaba Namwa. It brought in some energy, some fresh energy within these two artists, and their camps sort of started doing a lot of things. I know StoneBoy actually went to Jamaica. He traveled outside Ghana. He did some collaborations. He did a song, Sugar. Sugar was, I think it's the most played Ghanaian song on Apple Music in 2019. And so the energy was good. Wonder Boy, ShattaBwoy came out with a lot. You know, the hallmark, the street hallmark of ShattaBwoy when it comes to the blogosphere. We know ShattaBwoy always combats Nigerian songs for us. A lot of people don't know, but what he does is, anytime a top Nigerian is trying to penetrate through the Ghanaian music spheres, he'll pick their rhythm and then he turns back. And so he's trying to do that with Melissa and Aquile Take. You understand? And so it's working for both of them. I think the energy that came from the Rift, even though the whole event, the incident wasn't something that we all wished for, I think the energy that they gained from the experience was good. To the end of 2019, Charlie, they played all the shows. They were on Afro Nation. And Charlie, the energy was good. It was generally, it was very good. We had the Beyonce featuring after the whole energy. You understand? And so I could say, well, maybe from our perspectives, from, you know, the rants from the media spheres, those people who are in the media, we made a lot of noise about it, especially when the night of the incident, when Stonebwoy brandished that gun. We were furious. I mean, because the international cameras were on us. And so we were very angry, we were livid. But the artists themselves, I mean, after that, they did something good for themselves. You understand? So it was good.
Jibril, you share the same view. You think that the unfortunate incident actually catapulted them to do a lot this year?
Yes, personally, I believe that it was a very nice step for whosoever that headed the peace binding between these two artists. They themselves, at least, are humans, and they know that the wind that is blowing around their camps, based on their fan base and stuff, is too much, and so they had to just comply and then probably come together, which is a nice step. I think it gave them more atmosphere with Afro Nation putting both artists on bill. It was a plus for them. With Stonebwoy having over 58 shows within 2019 to perform or in and around the world, it adds up to the fact that, look, in as much as VGMA or the Ghana police or whosoever took us to court, look, we are still going to move forward. We are not going to lay low and then probably let it affect us. Let's go forward. We are standing in for the Ghanaian musicians, and we are standing as top notch to probably turn things around to let the world know that, look, in as much as we have differences and we are having one or two things that is trying to put us aside, we can move forward in the right direction. And Shatta has proven it in several interviews. He keeps on preaching that, look, we have to move forward. We are fighting. We have to fight for the country, and then let people know that, look, there's something lucrative in the Ghanaian music industry. And so the two of them, kudos to them. They've done very well for the past few days after this whole incident. My problem would be on the side of Charterhouse, and I'm sure we'll get to that.
Sure. You made mention of the peace, the unity. Yeah. Of course, there's one thing that we didn't see, the peace concert, even though they scheduled a date for that. But you know, there were also the conversation on the reason behind the unity. There were people who were saying that it was to seek clemency from the court. Others were saying that it was just as it is. It's a peace. It's a unity thing. Where do you belong? You think it was planned?
Staged.
It was a staged thing.
I'm not from that, that idea that some group of people sat down and they staged that particular piece. And I think it was something that needed to happen at that particular time, because there was a lot of tension between these two camps. I mean, we knew these guys had been beefing. However, we were not expecting things to be this huge on a larger scale. It was, the whole thing was morphing into some sort of a violence, you understand? So people needed to act. And so if indeed it's true that it was staged, I think it was in the best interest of society. And if you look at the personalities behind that, I think it's something that we should be proud of. That the music industry is not just for the young people. A lot of big wigs are looking at us. People are watching us. Nana Barnaba was able to get Mr. Dr. Kofi Aban to come on, and you know, Doctor, he's a big guy. He's a big shot. And I learned after that, a lot of big guys started looking at the music industry. And this is positivity. This is something that we really need to look at. A guy was arguing yesterday that we always compare ourselves with the Nigerians. We can't run away from that. He was like, look, if people are making analysis or we are projecting submissions to people to consider, we're making proposals to global agencies to consider our industry. Nigerians have big guys who talk for them. However, our big people are probably not talking about industry, or they don't know what is happening. And so an accord like that gives the chance for people to talk about it, for big guys to come into the music. I was expecting someone from the ministry, because the sector minister was actually at the event on the night. So I was expecting someone from the ministry to be at the accord. I was expecting to see my boss, Bolare, at the accord. But he was there. Okay. So I mean, it's in line. It's in line not to win that clemency from the. I mean, it would be prejudicial for anyone to presuppose that they were trying to win some, sort of some sympathy from the court. We cannot deny that anybody who's in trouble would like to be, pardoned. And so, I mean, that issue is in court, and so we really don't want to talk about the details of that. I think it's good.
Let me still stay with you. There are concerns that the unity actually has made the game a bit dull, because, previously we will see a beef between ShattaBwoy and Stonebwoy. When they organize shows, we will see their fans, doing a whole lot of things and all. It seems not to be the case, but you still think it was okay for them to have united?
Well, I think yes. I mean, I said it somewhere that look, the beef was very necessary. That contention, it's needed for showbiz. However, where it was morphing into, I mean, the whole violence and those things, we don't want them. Threats on people's lives and etc. We do not want those things. However, the lyrical beef was needed. It was very necessary. What I realized was later on that it was only, the accord was only to close the violence aspect of the beef. However, lyrically, they are still in battle. Okay, and I may agree with some people when they said, well, I mean, the whole fan base, the politics around the fandoms was a bit low after the accord. I mean, when you look at the Shatta's concerts, you realize some people were not around. However, I think it's just a phase in our music industry we needed to go through. We may lose a bit of some things in the fandom, the politics around fan bases. We may lose some things. They may not be radical, but we need to check these fan bases. We need to check them. One of the key things that affects the music industry is that our fan bases, once they are with you, their loyalty makes them feel like they should not patronize other artists' materials. And so that is a very huge problem in the music industry. We don't have the numbers, and we've divided ourselves into fandoms. That's fine, but that characteristics that we feel like, no, I belong, the loyalty, I'm loyal to ShattaBwoy, therefore I'm not going to buy Stonebwoy song. If I'm not going to his show. ShattaBwoy and Sarkodie are having a beef. I'm a fan of Sarkodie, and so I don't like Melissa. I won't download it. I won't want. That is the bane of a lot of problems in our music industry. And so, I mean, the accord it's something that felt like it could solve some of these things. But so far, so far so good.
You're right. We will delve into the discussion proper, but let's look at the songs or their performance, like we were talking about. Should they have been included in this year's edition? Of course, it's as it stands, according to Theresa Ayode, they are not part of it. So, if they were part, which categories would we have seen them compete? Jibril?
Oh, definitely, it's going to be the dancehall, reggae dancehall category, which is their major genre. The two of them are fighting always on. But I think this year, Shatta has been consistent with most of his songs as Afro. That's what I see. His songs and Stonebwoy as well. And so probably We'll be looking at the Afro dancehall, reggae, and then probably Artist of the Year category, because these two artists have been able to stay consistent, just as their category defines their craft from 2019 till date. You know, Stoneboy performing on almost all the big stages in Ghana, releasing, apart from the album, which he hasn't released, but he has hits, and so it probably could classify him as an Artist of the Year. Same as ShattaBwoy as well. And so this I don't think Charterhouse probably is taking them off because this whole issue is now in court. You know, and so for me, I think they are hiding from the fact they don't want to. Probably they have an agenda they want to move forward with, but for me, I think that they could have still been part of this year's edition, and it's still not going to cost anything. Probably they just have to make sure that they sit with these two artists and then push a way forward and know what they are going to work around. But taking them off totally a scrap, like it doesn't make up to me.
Kelly, likely nominations?
I think it's absolutely ridiculous for the organizers to come out to say, oh, Charlie. It's like you have a girlfriend, you break up, you say you don't want them again. They ask you, Charlie, you want a girl? So no, this girl, I don't want them again. Make it go away. You see, say girl, so all of a sudden 3 months you get any being back. They ask you that you're like, oh, you know, Charlie, I don't know whether I want her again. Maybe no, it's exploitative. It's absolutely ridiculous. Look, Abantipa, I'll tell you, and you are aware, boards are very authoritative. Yeah. Decisions from boards are binding. You understand? It's not like I'm home and I just feel like eating something today. Like suddenly I say I won't eat chicken, and tomorrow I say, oh, Charlie, this chicken time, I can go taste that. That's not boards. You ban the guys in it. You say these guys, you know the atmosphere in that era when the rifts happened. Pundits, radio presenters, everybody was on these guys. And the Charterhouse actually came out to say that, look, media people will beg you guys should come down on the discussions on these rifts. Just let the issue, because Charlie, there was a lot of heat in the system. And so based on that particular heat, the board, I don't know, made that decision. However, you should have taken those things into consideration, that what happens in the year or two. They have bangers. These are biggest artists in Ghana. You cannot run away from the fact. Every business person knows how powerful ShattaBwoy and Stoneboy are. And so if you realize that, Charlie, it didn't affect them. The guys, they are in court, but they have the hits. There's competition coming. So what do we do? We will have a problem with the board always changing. I mean, we are stakeholders in this industry. Why do you need to keep changing your board? And so decisions can't stay. The court is still in session. The case is still in court. And so why are you changing why do you feel like you have no idea what the previous guys did? It wasn't us. I mean, some guys did the thing, and I think it's exploitative, and so we should be strong with the decisions we make in the music industry. Look, I'll tell you, when news came out that ShattaBwoy was going to be banned, I mean, you heard it. A lot of us, we heard about the news. I don't know what happened, but ShattaBwoy sort of heard it. The man took blade and cut his skin, took a picture of it, placed it on Twitter, and said, this happened. I'm not going to be part of VGMA again. It's there. It's for the records.
He was hurt at the event, or
that should tell you the amount of heat in the system by them.
Now, you were saying that he took a blade and cut himself.
Yes.
I'm asking, is it something on record, or it's because, per my understanding, it's he was injured at the event.
No, I don't
he cut himself?
It was like a covenant with himself, or I don't know.
Oh, okay.
With whoever, I don't know, because there were allegations, a lot of allegations by then. But the essence of it is that it was a very serious issue that we should not be playing around with. You understand? We should, I think, this year's VGMA should stick by the board's decision and let the board be realistic. so that I will not be expecting that tomorrow there may be another board with this flexible decision. I think the decision should be very strong and binding, just like a court ruling. A board within a scheme should be very powerful to do certain things. So if a whole board sat down, there were utterances from members of the board that we don't need ShattaBwoy, we don't need these guys, no, let's go on. And so based on that, you place your decision. Boss, stick by it. Let us see you sticking by, because mind you, ShattaBwoy, we are also holding him to his words.
Yeah.
He said he's not going to be part of it. Yeah, we the watch him. We are not joking in the industry anymore.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes,
we are not playing.
You're still watching Bloggers Forum. It's a platform where bloggers come to share their views on issues relating to the arts, tourism, and entertainment sector. We'll take a break. When we come back, I'll take Jibrill's view on whether or not the ban should be lifted. From the break, my name is Benifo Boabena Brantipa, and I'm doing this with Kelly and Jibril. Before the break, Kelly was making a point why he thinks the board, the newly constituted board, should stick to the decision of the 2019 board. Jibril, you listen to Kelly's arguments, and he thinks the decision should not be overturned.
Yes. I would 100% agree with him. You see,
but you do not like the idea. In fact, the fact that the board actually took the decision. So why wouldn't you want the new one to overturn that decision?
You see, decisions should be made, but we have to first of all consider some things before we make such decisions. You see, these are two artists that have ruled us for a decade. And then we've seen them. We've seen what they are capable of doing. We've seen the gigs, the contracts they've been able to pull on their front decks and stuff. And so, making a decision and not
sticking to it.
You see, it's more of like what was the word you were using?
Exploitative.
You know, you are trying to make us feel that these people have a fault, and so. You don't have a problem. They have the problem, and so you don't want to attach yourself to them. Look, to be sincere, Charterhouse, the board, knows that these two artists are great. If they want to pick an agenda that, look, we can do without them, that is their decision they want to make. But you see, you can't hide it. You can't run away from it. It will shock you that this 2020 VGMA, if these people are not part of it, I'm not trying to go other way, but it's probably like a prophecy. You would see the numbers. You see the differences between 2020's VGMA and 2019's VGMA. The numbers would show. I wouldn't say.
You think there will be a reduction in the patronage?
Of course. Look,
because ShattaBwoy and Stonebwoy
are not there. I'm telling you, they have the numbers, and
But you have the likes of you have the likes of Sarkodie, Kwame Eugene, King Promise, Kwesi Arthur, a whole lot of artists who have actually done well the year under review. You think that they don't have
the King Promise, Kwesi Arthur, Kwame Eugene, the case, if you add them together, the
gospel artists also have their fan base.
If you add them together, I'm not going to the gospel. I'm just talking of the case. I'm taking Sack out of it. The case, the Kwame Eugene, Kiddy, Kwesi Arthur, and then King Promise. These four guys, if you pick them and put a showdown for them, and you pick only Stonebwoy and put, you would see the numbers. You put the same rate. Yesterday we were having the same argument between the high life artists and then the circular guys, these same K guys. You know, if you put them and say 50 CDs a show, and put only Stonebwoy or ShattaBwoy and say 50 CDs for that same show, you would see the numbers. It will clearly show. Look, Shatta has the numbers, and he has the people, and they will pay to go for it. The same way Stonebwoy, same for them. But you see, there's a difference. These same people that I'm talking about in terms of Shatta, and these same people's fan base are those patronizing this young boy's own. And they are those, it's more of like, look, Shatta has done a song with Kwame Eugene. So let's consider him as a ShattaBwoy. That's what is happening. And so they give him that small leverage. And look,
there were instances these artists were not part of the scheme. I remember when ShattaWale first disrespected the scheme, and then they banned him. Even before this whole thing, when they had to recall him, that unity between him and George Quay.
Yeah.
The event went on.
Stonebwoy was
the patronage was high.
Stonebwoy was there to support that. Stonebwoy was there as at then. Stonebwoy brought the numbers for him. I'm saying these two people, if they are out, Charterhouse will suffer. I'm saying it, and we are going to see it if they really want to stick to it.
So because of that,
put it on record. You will see the difference if these two people are out.
I just want to have an understanding of where you belong. Now you are saying that the board should not revoke or overturn the decision.
What I'm saying
and
is
now
that,
you're saying that without the...
What I'm saying is that the board's decision is their decision.
Okay.
That's their decision.
They should stick to it.
If they want to put them off, they should put them off. If they want to bring them in, they should bring them in. But that is their decision, right? What I'm trying to tell them is that if you make your decision and probably it doesn't go well, which that is when you are not putting them on board, it is definitely going to give you some penalties. You are going to suffer for it. If you bring them on board, you are going to gain for it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Do you foresee the newly constituted board overturning the decision?
Yes.
You think they will?
Well, from the CEO's submission when we were at Alisa Hotel, I don't think the new board. They didn't mention the new board. I didn't hear the who.
Well, they said the board has been constituted,
and they didn't mention those yes. And so I can say, but for me, I don't think the board would consider putting Shatta and Stonebwoy back, because now I don't know who are involved. If it was the previous board, that which I know, I would clearly state that no, I don't think they'll come. But since I don't know them, it's a 50-50 for me. Yes.
Okay. So this one has those who were seated there. Amanziba is still part of it. Dinah Hobson is
New
there. George Quay is there. Daddy Bosco is there.
Daddy Bosco, who is also an old guy.
Yes.
An old boy.
And then Theresa Ayoade herself is also part of it. I don't know of the rest actually.
So from what we have seen, it clearly says that these two boys won't come. I'm telling you.
Kelly,
Charlie,
do you think there will be a change?
Contrary to what you say, I feel like we should understand that the VGMA now, after 20 years, 2 decades, the VGMA is beyond any artist at all in Ghana. It's beyond any act. Make we no joke with that. I mean, it's the biggest in Africa. And well, you can say maybe the franchise from maybe MTV base, BET, and those are separate ones. But the local awards, indigenous awards in Africa, VGMA supersedes. It's big. It's the biggest, and so it can outlive any artist. It has outlived all of them. It's bigger than them. If you take all the top artists from VGMA and you put underground artists, still it will thrive. That's what I believe, because it has grown beyond just the personalities, now an experience. And so every year, annually, the VGMA, I don't know how their finances are, but it looks like those things don't even matter to anybody anymore. And gradually, Ghanaians are beginning to feel like the VGMA itself is an African thing. And I think it's something that we should be abreast with. We should really accept that fact that the VGMA, it's so huge. Look, I will tell you, when the Lord Kenyans were on their top game, I mean, Kenya rapper Tintia Wonfe, Charlie, it happened. The Amachide days, the Lumbes, Kodrenchis, Ofurian Ponsa. Look, Ofurian Ponsa back-to-back hits. And the way Ofurian Ponsa was hitting, ShattaWale, we could say, oh, he appeals to the millennials, and and then the elderly, they are laid back, even though they love him. Ofurian Ponsa cut across in Penifua, Obia, everybody, and these guys were there when the VGMA was on, and the VGMA is still there, and they are gone. They are not gone as in gone. I beg you. You understand? And so it should tell you that the VGMA, the experts behind the VGMA, the board, everybody, the industry people, they are there, and so they will make sure the discussion. We're having a discussion about VGMA. If ShattaBwoy and the rest are not part of it, we will still discuss the nomination, and we will still stream live, and we'll take the pictures, and Africa will be alive on the day. And so it will not take anything away from. Look, VGMA can give the ticket to dignitaries to fill up the dome, and we'll still have the experience. The polos will go and take their pictures and twerk on the red carpet, and Africa will be amazed.
And it will pain some people.
It's not going to take anything from
but would the show business come in? Would they make the money?
But that's
giving the tickets out. Giving the tickets out. Are you giving it free?
That's a hypothetical statement that he made.
I mean, how much tickets do you sell at the VGMAs? You give half of it to complimentary.
Yeah.
And they don't make money via tickets. And I think it's about time organizers should look at that particular aspect of the VGMA where they focus a lot more on getting sponsors to hold on the scheme whilst they give out the ticket to industry people and dignitaries, so that artists can invite their people a lot more, and then just few tickets, maybe 20% of it is floated for the public, so that we can have the VGMA as a production, television production that will cut across Africa. That will be bigger. And these things are bigger than artists. ShattaBwoy is not part of BET. ShattaBwoy is not part of, he hasn't been nominated by MTV Base before. However, the show is popping. You understand? And he's the biggest in Africa. To me, Wale is the
biggest in Africa.
Yes. Oh, ShattaBwoy is the biggest in Africa. It's a fact that a lot of people are not trying to accept because of the boundaries. We are aware. The brotherly conflict between us and some people. But I tell you, look, Wale has an identifiable fan base. You can brand a fan base. I tell you, he's the biggest. He has a rain brand that is cut across every part of our society, from the streets, and there's no artist in Africa that has achieved that. Whiskey tried with his brand. What do you call it? StarBoy. Rain is big. It's so big that Africa is not accepting it. But the moment the revolution happens, you will realize that ShattaBwoy is the biggest. And he's sitting right here, and the MTV base is going on, and people are popping champagne. And so it's not going to affect VGMA. It's not going to do anything to VGMA. It will bring out the talkability, and people are going to say we are going to revolt. VGMA has seen all the rebellious fan base and all that before. And so we should accept that fact. Once we accept that fact, a lot of things people will lay back that, Charlie, it not be do and die matter.
We'll be wrapping up shortly. For those of you wondering why the deadline for submission is 31st January, but we are still contemplating on whether or not the ban will be lifted. Per what Robert Clark, who is now in charge of communications at Charterhouse, said, the board can actually, say that, okay, so because artist A performed very well the year under review, but he or she did not file for nomination, they can decide to contact the artist and ask whether he will, agree to be nominated. So there's always a rule there's always an exception to the rule. So even if the deadline is due, these two artists can be nominated based on whether or not the new board will overturn the decision. But a quick one before we go. Should the new board overturn the decision, would that be an indictment on the previous board?
Yeah, you said it. Obviously, it's a clear indictment on the board that a board cannot take a decision that lasts more than a year. It's not even a year, it's like about 9 months.
Yeah, few months.
Yeah, come on, a board. I think it's ridiculous for the board to actually sit and say we are going to reconsider these things. It doesn't make sense. I don't want to. I'm a board member somewhere. Someone might criticize me. I'll take it in good faith. However, I think the VGMA board, first of all, should be membership should extend beyond just a scheme, like just an annual scheme. It should extend maybe they give you a contract. It should extend maybe a year. We should have board members that will last maybe 5 years, so that you can play with the experiences and you can make the board to be active within a period of time, so that when you take a decision against an artist, he'll go like, okay, this is a serious decision. This is a very established principle that these are serious people. But when you take a decision, don't mind them, maybe 9 months, a new board will come and they will be dilly-dallying with the decision. They don't know what. No. I really think they should come again and make us see that the VGMA, someone first perceived the VGMA as the ultimate in Africa. I've said it anywhere. And I'm a member of 3 Music Awards board, and I'm saying that the VGMA is big. That should tell you that we know what the VGMA stands for in Africa, so far as music is concerned. And so we expect a board to be, solid and consistent and expanding through a period of time, maybe 5 years contract for board members, so that the board can do a research. So if I'm there a year and I don't know whether I'll be part of the board, I'm just relaxed. And so they call you a month to the scheme, and then you start doing research on what. No, it's not productive.
How many years do you think they should be banned for?
ShattaBwoy
yes.
and
should the board decide not to?
I'm not a board member.
Yeah, I know, but you are saying that the board should stick to it, and it's actually 9 months. It's not even been a year.
I may be going.
How many
going against my word, but then I'm a Ghanaian. We forget. But yeah, I'm saying that because when the incident happened, the energy, I was like, okay, fine, I understand why the board banned them, and I was going at ShattaBwoy and Stonebwoy for doing that particular thing. However, I don't think they should have taken that decision in the first place. I think they should have taken some other decisions, like something else. Saying we are banning them, Sinida indefinitely, and you ban them, and then 1 year, it's not in Wakra, there's a finite and indefinite. Yeah. So you should really, I think they should have taken other decisions, like punitive. Like saying, ShattaBwoy maybe will not allow you to bring your artist to the next VGMA. You bring 2 people, and then when you come, we will not let you do this and do that. Go and sign this, with the police.
Oh, you tell the artist to bring only 2 people.
No, those are practical decisions.
Decide the number of tickets to buy.
Yeah, do that, but those decisions.
You think that one is punitive enough?
I think banning them it's like old school colonial decision. Like, we ban you. It's not productive. You understand? You should Charlie, ShattaBwoy, from now on, when you are coming to the VGMA, your squad will lay back. Stonebwoy, you are not going to be at 100 meters or whatever. Those kind of practical decisions.
That has always been the case, though. Like, even when you are going to take your plaque, you don't go with, an entourage. Yeah. But there are instances where the security is breached. There are instances where you have a whole lot of people. I remember when we went for the engagement, there were concerns about that, how people are able to get on stage and then the security does not stop them. It's actually something that we need to pay particular attention to.
That could have been another recommendation they could have said, okay, we are increasing the security for this particular artist or this particular event. No, that's a particular stuff.
Jibril, let me take your final words on the discussion. And then,
you see, first of all, I would always stand by the board's decision is the board's decision. But you see, as Charterhouse, they should be consistent. They shouldn't keep on changing and changing. It doesn't make the whole award scheme so. It doesn't make it solid, because it's more of like you make a decision and then tomorrow is a different decision. With Stonebwoy and ShattaBwoy being on board, for me, I would say that is left onto the board. They should decide, and also that is left onto Stonebwoy and ShattaBwoy whether they are going to file for it or not. That is left onto them, whether they are coming on board, they are not coming on board. I think without them, Charterhouse would not gain in terms of numbers. For me, that is what I believe in. I believe these guys can pull the numbers for them. I also believe that Shatta and then Stonebwoy have every right to say, look, we are not going to be part of it and won't be part of it, and then whatsoever should happen is going to happen. That is final. That is a decision both should make. and I'm cool with that.
Right, so he's cool with it, and that's how we draw down the curtain for today's edition of the show. My name is Benefo Boabin Abrantipa. I've been doing this with Kelly Latte Mensah, social media strategist, EIB Network, and he writes for showbizpundits.com. For the other one on the Parrot, Aku. Okasa. He writes for ghkasa.com, and that's Jibril. Thank you so much for joining us on Bloggers Forum. We are back same time next week.